It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of June 3rd, 2005. And on today's docket, we have the follow-up for Russell Crowe and Ron Howard after their Oscar-winning success for The Beautiful Mind, Cinderella Man. We also have the ensemble, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and we also have Catherine Hardwicke's Lords of Dogtown. So, 3 films to look at. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is, of course, Ron Howard's Cinderella Man.
He's old. He's arthritic.
Based on the true story.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. It's over.
Just give me another fight.
When a man needed a second chance.
They said I'm through. There can't be a boxer no more.
His family.
I'm always behind you.
Gave him the courage to defy the odds.
I got you a fight.
From director Ron Howard.
I see what I'm seeing. Where the hell did that come from?
And producer Brian Grazer.
Say the paper's getting all sorts of letters from people saying you're their inspiration.
Sometimes you see something in a fighter. You don't even know if it's real.
You beat this guy easy last time. Yeah, the same guy.
Russell Crowe.
Gonna be the next champ, Jimmy.
Max Bass killed 2 men in the ring. Are you scared for your husband's life?
Renee Zellweger.
What's worth it, Jimmy? What's worth it?
I have to believe that if things are bad, that we can change them.
Don't you let him take this away from your kids.
What a fight! Unbelievable!
Cinderella Man, rated PG-13. In theaters Friday, June 3rd.
So in the film, Russell Crowe plays James J. Braddock, who's a boxer who became very poor during the Great Depression, but he doesn't give up. He fights hard and wins the heavyweight boxing championship, making people feel hopeful. His story shows that you can overcome tough times with courage and hard work. And sadly, this was a movie that got overshadowed by some pretty bad press from Russell Crowe in general. I mean, this is part of a thing where, you know, when they were making the movie, there was a big controversy. It's actually when the movie was coming out, there was this big controversy with Russell Crowe. Like, quite literally, after the movie came out, there was an event where he was arrested and charged for second-degree assault by the New York Police Department after he threw a telephone at the concierge at the Mercer Hospital, who had refused to help him place a call when the system did not work in Crowe's room. And he was charged for fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon, and the concierge was treated for a facial laceration. And he pled guilty, was conditionally discharged, and he ended up settling in the lawsuit for the concierge. And in terms of the settlement, we're not disclosed, but this is already a guy that already faced a lot of controversy beforehand because of what he did during the time that A Beautiful Mind came out, which basically essentially cost him the Academy Award, winning another Academy Award for Best Actor. And here's another movie that was overshadowed by the bad publicity, which it didn't help that the film was not a big hit financially, but the film itself is really good. It's a really damn good movie. It's Ron Howard doing what Ron Howard does well. He works very well with Crowe the last time on A Beautiful Mind. I think this is overall their probably their best film together, and a lot of people did really believe that. There was a thing that happened around the time where it started with AMC theaters, so they basically had this thing going on where, to help boost the ticket sales of the movie, they would offer a refund to any ticket buyer who didn't like the movie. And the advertisement was in the New York Times and a lot of other papers. AMC Theaters did this, and then Cinemark Theaters did it also as well. AMC tried to do something similar to something with Mystic Pizza back in 1988, and then 20th Century Fox tried to do the same thing for the remake of Miracle on 34th Street in 94. Both really good movies, but yeah, you could kind of see that it didn't really help the box office in general. The film was still kind of seen as a bomb in the U.S., with making $61 million alone here. But when you take the worldwide grosses, it did make its budget back in general, but it was still seen, unfortunately, as a flop at the box office. But the movie itself is a really good movie. It's a great film. Russell Crowe really shows what he can do what he still can do as an actor in general. Paul Giamatti breaks out big time in this movie. He really is great in this. He got an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. This is a really good movie. It's definitely one of Ron Howard's more underrated films. A film that definitely deserves a lot more attention back then. And it's a film that is really good. It's one of the best boxing movies ever. Not quite Raging Bull, but it's definitely very high up there in general. It's a really good film. Just a good enjoyable sports drama. Definitely a film that deserves a lot more attention, and really one you should definitely check out. I highly recommend Cinderella Man. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, and that is the ensemble, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
We were best friends and about to spend our first summer apart. How about the switch? You tried it. But a pair of pants. Ta-da! would keep us together. You think that a pair of jeans that fits all three of you is going to fit all of this? This summer, we'll share them equally, and they'll travel among us.
That just seems really, really stupid. I mean, yeah, they're best friends and all, but all of them sharing the same pair of pants over the course of the summer, that raises a lot of questions. I'm like Val Kilmer, Batman Forever. It just raises too many questions. But as you can see here, this is based off of a book of the same name, where you have America Ferrera, Amber Tamblyn, Blake Lively, and Alexis Bledel. And they are best friends who buy a mysterious pair of pants that fits each of them despite their differing sizes, and they share the pants equally as they spend their first summer apart. A premise like this could be really, really stupid, but when you have a cast as good as this, you know, America Ferrera, who was just about to break out with Ugly Betty, Amber Tamblyn, who was in the criminally underrated Joan of Arcadia, Blake Lively, who was slowly but surely building her career up, and Alexis Bledel from Gilmore Girls. You got four very good, talented actresses, a good director in Ken Kwapis, who's made some pretty good movies as well, and you have a good story that works because you do like the camaraderie between the four of them, and they do have a lot of good adventures on their journeys. Like, you know, Alexis Bledel goes to Greece. You know, America Ferrera's character, you know, she works at a discount department store, and she delivers this. She basically goes to find this young girl who faints and calls an ambulance. You have this one girl who's in South Carolina, and the other girl is in soccer camp. And you don't think there's really a whole lot of stories you could tell with this, but the stories they tell are very well done. They're very interesting, and they have a lot of good acting going on there to make you very intrigued and interested in what's happening in the situations. And I think the movie works very well. It's a film that I personally would probably have never given a second thought to, but because of the talent there, because of the ideas, because of the fact that there was something in there that a lot of people said you should definitely see, I can definitely see it. It's a film that is engaging. It's an entertaining movie. It's a film that I would say is specifically tailored for a teen girl audience, but if you can go into it with the right mindset and want to see a movie with four very good, young, talented stars in the making, you can go into it and enjoy it for what it is. It's not a movie that I would say go out and check it out, but if you have the right mindset to it and you can stand a movie like this, definitely check it out. I think it's one that definitely deserves a lot more attention than I think it gets. It's a film that's good, not great overall, but it works because of the four main leads. It's a really solid film. I do recommend it. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. So with that said, on to the last movie we have here. Personally, my favorite movie of the whole weekend, and that is Lords of Dogtown. Notice right off the bat, it's a real rarity because this is a film that's not only produced by TriStar Pictures, but Columbia Pictures, even though they're under the same umbrella of Sony Pictures in general. So, but this is one of the few times you ever see the two studios actually working together on a movie. So this movie is essentially, there was a documentary that came out a couple years ago called Dogtown and Z-Boys, and this is kind of like a scripted biographical dramatic version of it that captures the rise of skateboards culture in the 1970s, where you follow Stacy Peralta, who wrote the script for this, who's a key figure in the skateboarding community, and chronicles the lives of the Z-Boys, a group of young skateboarders who revolutionized the sport with their aggressive style and innovative tricks. The story focuses on the lives of the three skateboarders, Tony Alva, Peralta, and Jay Adams, as they navigate fame, rivalry, and personal challenges, and it explores the impact of commercialization of the sport and the lives of its practitioners, despite mixed reviews. The film did eventually go on to have a cult following, despite not doing well at the box office or getting the best reviews in general, and it has been recognized as an authentic portrayal of skateboarding culture and its history. I'm not really a skateboarding type of person, but I did play a lot of Tony Hawk Pro Skater back in the day, and I know who Tony Hawk is, obviously, and a lot of other BMX people like Matt Hoffman, mostly because I've seen him on Jackass. Bam Margera was one of them, but this is a really good, underrated movie. This is directed by Catherine Hardwicke, who gave us 13, and her next movie was going to be The Nativity Story, followed by Twilight. this is a really good movie. This is a really good film that definitely shows what she can do as a director as a whole, and not just be tied down to something like the Twilight movies. You got a great cast that includes Emile Hirsch from The Girl Next Door, Victor Rashuk, John Robinson, Johnny Knoxville, Heath Ledger, Rebecca De Mornay. Heath Ledger going to have a great year in 2005, as we'll see later on. Michael Angarano, Nikki Reed. Just a really strong cast overall, and a really engaging storyline that just keeps you invested in the situations at hand, and just shows you, it just shows a lot of the really good efforts goes into this, with capturing the feel of the 1970s. We're going to have a couple movies this year that feel like that. We'll get to Robots later in the year, which is another criminally underrated little gem. But even if you're not the biggest skateboarding person and want a good character-driven film, this film is definitely it. It's a great film that really shows its strong cast overall, a really good story to tell, and it's very interesting how they handle the situations here. Even if you never saw the original Dogtown and Z-Boys, you could still find a lot to admire about this movie from the acting alone. It's a movie like The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Even if you don't really care for the source material itself, you'll want to see the movie because of the actors at hand, because they really do carry the load of the film. It's a really fantastic film, and one I do recommend checking out. It's probably, like I said, my favorite movie of the entire week. Definitely a very underrated little gem. Definitely one worth seeking out. Lords of Dogtown, I do recommend it highly. Check it out. And so with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. And the next time we meet, we've got 5 movies to look at, including the infamous Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Not infamous for the movie itself, but the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. More on that when we get to that one. We also have Robert Rodriguez's infamous The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl 3D. That's infamous for its own for the movie itself, but we'll delve into that one as well in the next episode. Another infamous movie, if you will, The Honeymooners, which, yep, prepare to be surprised what I have to say about that one, because you think you might know what I have to say about it, but just prepare for for a completely different take on it, because I don't think this movie deserves the reputation that it gets, honestly. But we will talk about that one the next time. But we also have High Tension with Cecile de France, and also Hayao Miyazaki's latest movie after the follow-up to Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. So we'll look at those 5 movies all in the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page. Why did I slap my cheek there for a second? Let me do that again. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out some of the other videos we've done on the show before, as well as the playlist on the next page. But with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.